Well, guys, we're here. Welcome to Soul Reviews. I'm your host. And I'm here to take you on a discovery of the wondrous world of television and film. We are going to span the seasons, including your favorite holidays, and we're going to give you a show... Cut. Sag mal, du denkst du nicht, dass diese ganze Friendship is Magic Sache vielleicht ein bisschen zu viel ist?
No.
Können wir dann vielleicht mindestens irgendwas wegen diesen Untertiteln hier machen? Die sind nämlich dezent scheiße.
Ich glaube, ich kenne da jemanden. Mal schauen. There we go. Hey, wie geht's? Sag mal, könntest du mir einen kleinen Gefallen tun und... Kannst du? Sweet, danke.
Also, können wir?
Psst. Wait for it.
Oh, sweet. Hey, danke, dude. So, where were we? Soul Reviews. I think we should just get the show started and tackle a film that some of you might have seen, but certainly haven't thought about in quite some time. The 2000 American teen comedy, Roadtrip. Roadtrip was directed and co-written by Todd Phillips, that some of you might remember as the director of such films like Starsky and Hutch in 2004, the Hangover trilogy, and strangely enough, the upcoming psychological thriller starring Joaquin Phoenix, Joker.
The film was produced and distributed by the Montecito Picture Company and DreamWorks Pictures respectively, and bolsters a cast of noteworthy actors in the television and film industries. The plot revolves around a college student and his friends trying to travel halfway across the United States in time to stop his childhood sweetheart from watching a videotape depicting his infidelity, all the while trying to make it back again to write his midterm.
Now, that is a lot of information all at once, so let's try to break it down.
Josh Parker, played by Breckin Meyer, aka John Arbuckle in the Garfield films, and Tiffany Henderson, played by Rachel Blanchard, who you might remember from television series like Flight of the Conchords and Fargo. The two are high school sweethearts that are struggling to maintain a long-distance relationship while studying on opposite sides of the country, Josh studying in the fictional University of Ithaca in New York, and Tiffany studying in the equally fictional University of Austin.
Why they didn't just stick with the actual universities of Ithaca and Austin, I don't know, but... go with it.
After a prolonged absence of messages, Josh believes that Tiffany has moved on from him and decides to hook up with fellow student and long-term admirer Beth, played by Amy Smart from the Butterfly Effect fame. During their hookup, they decide to film their exploits, which, in an accidental mix-up, are sent to Tiffany. As it turns out, she had been absent due to her grandfather's recent passing.
Tell me you mailed the Beth tape to Tiffany. Yes!
The bulk of the plot pretty much follows the friends made up of Josh, Ruben, played by Paulo Constanzo, Kyle, played by DJ Qualls, and E.L., played by the Stiffmeister himself, Sean William Scott, trying to cross the 1,800 miles to Austin to stop Tiffany from watching the tape.
Adding insult to injury, Josh is also failing his semester and must make it back in time to write his midterm.
So, let's summarize. Our group sets out to cross 1,800 miles. That is 2,900 kilometers, there and back again, within 3 days. To put this in perspective for some of our German viewers, das wäre so, als ob ihr von Köln nach Finnland an den nördlichsten Punkt hochfahren würdet und dann direkt wieder zurück.
The first part of the journey goes without a hitch. traveling with loaner Kyle's old Ford Taurus through the US East Coast.
You know, looking at some of the scenes here, and you do get more of them as the film progresses, I love some of the locations they travel through, and I have to admit, it brings up some personal memories for me. Actually, if we can be a little bit personal. Back when I used to live in DC, this was around 2001 to 2004, my dad would take the family on these annual trips throughout the States, and every single year we would try to go into a different sort of direction. So the first year, so 2002, we traveled along the south, so the southern states. And the year after that, 2003, we made our way over to the west, which was by far the longest journey. And then the final year, we traveled along the north, so seeing all the northern states and parts of Canada. And I remember these trips being very special to me, and also to the family, obviously, because we ended up seeing so much. We saw all these beautiful locations in the States. We got to visit some of the towns along the way and got to meet some of the locals. And it was really a building experience for me, for my brother, my family. It was just a wonderful experience. And because of those trips, my dad gave me the chance not only to see all the continental US states, but also actually stay in them. And with the exception of Hawaii and Alaska, soon, I was able to really experience the US. And this trip, yes, it's just a fraction of the stuff that we ended up seeing, but it still has that feeling, and honestly, I appreciate it for it. But speaking of states, our heroes have reached Pennsylvania and run into their first little obstacle.
Damn it!
Now, seeing it's only a spitting distance, plus another meter or two,
our heroes make the jump and abruptly end up blowing up their car.
But in the words of the Stiffmeister himself,
This car sucks!
this car sucks indeed.
After making their way to a nearby motel and featuring the mandatory early 2000s Andy Dick cameo, Stifler.
Yeah, I know his name is EL here, but seriously, this was made between the two American Pie films, and Sean William Scott pretty much acts, looks, and talks the same way, so screw it, I'm calling him Stifler.
Stifler appropriates a school bus from a school for the blind.
I said I didn't want to know.
Just roll with it.
And the gang resumes their journey.
Now in the bus we actually get a scene that surprises me. Stifler being nice to Kyle.
Yeah, up until this point, Kyle has merely served as a means for the gang to start their trip, as they needed his car and credit card. Most of the time, though, they simply ignore or mock him.
But in this scene, we actually have a moment where Stifler is genuinely being nice to them and actually gives them some advice, which, given what his feelings were about having Kyle along earlier in the film...
You're a fucking sissy. All you ever do is sit in a library and play Myst with those exchange students. It's pathetic.
Is actually a really big step in Stifler's characterization, and I think actually adds quite a lot to the dynamic of the team, seeing as they have accepted Kyle and actually he's part of their team now. He's actually a friend now.
The scene gives us an idea into Kyle's background and his problematic relationship with his father.
Played by veteran actor Fred Ward, and shown as a strict and overbearing parent. Now is actually probably a good time to look at some of the other plot lines that are revolving while Josh and the gang are on their way down to Boston.
Kyle's father finds out about his son's destroyed car in Pennsylvania and travels with Kyle's mother to find him, threatening anyone who gets in his way.
Beth, not entirely sure what her relationship now is with Josh, decides to find him with the help of Barry and... Barry. Yeah, I've been kind of avoiding this up until this point, but might as well get it out of the way.
Barry is played by Tom Green, an American-Canadian comedian who had his heyday in the late 90s and early 2000s on MTV, and was, for the most part, known for his shock comedy and over-the-top antics.
Which, for the most part... Yeah, you do that in here as well. But unlike his later performances in things like Freddy Got Fingered, yeah, that one.
He never really bothered me in this and matches quite well with the other actors. He is even given some pretty funny screen time and actually helps drive the story along.
Wherever he went because of you.
What do you mean, because of me?
Josh likes you. It's disgusting.
Yeah, some of those points though are unfortunately overshadowed by Barry's lack of understanding of US geography.
Which ends up sending Beth to Boston, Massachusetts,
Not Austin.
where a confrontation with the wrong Tiffany
I thought you should know.
leads to said girl beating the ever-loving crap out of her boyfriend.
Back with the gang.
They have now arrived in Tennessee, where they try to spend the night in an all-black fraternity. Ruben manages to get them inside,
Kai.
and after a prank is pulled on Kyle, he is quickly knocked unconscious.
The group doesn't just end up getting an Austin early 2000s party with the frat.
But Kyle actually manages to hook up with a girl. This transforms him from the previously shy and awkward Kyle to the hip cigarette-smoking Kyle.
Boink there! Boinked?
For the most part anyway.
Stifler also gets his chance to discover a whole new side of himself as the gang decides to donate at a sperm bank to continue their journey.
Yeah, this pretty much goes as you would expect, but in the words of the Sithmeister,
That was awesome.
after some additional shenanigans with Barry and the snake,
The group arrives at Barry's grandparents for a final night before the big push.
Hi!
here Ruben gets a chance to reflect on his near-death experience with the exploding car from earlier, and asking himself the question, well,
What is my reason for living?
Are you gonna pass that doobie or what?
Barry's grandfather gives him some advice, which eventually helps Ruben becoming more confident in himself.
on a little side note,
I love the fact that the day after the grandfather and Ruben got high, the dog is still talking to him.
Hey, Jack, have that bitch make me some blueberry pancakes. Right now.
after traveling 1800 miles to Austin, Leute, im Ernst, das ist eine Reise von Hamburg bis nach Gibraltar. Amerika ist scheißriesig.
The group finally arrives in Austin.
After all their perils, after all they've overcome, they have reached their goal. Also they fought.
Before being blocked by the college's reception, getting into a fistfight with a wrestler, and Kyle finally standing up to his father.
So while the gang handles Kyle's father, the receptionist wrestler, and campus security,
Josh finally has a chance to talk with Tiffany, which reveals that not only did the tape not contain footage of his cheating anymore, as Barry over-recorded the original content with his ass,
Josh rolls with it.
but he also learns that Tiffany is willing to move on from him, and the two split up as best friends.
Which honestly, it works.
The two had earlier been described as friends since childhood, that fell in love over time. The two of them splitting and remaining best friends regardless is the best way this plotline could end, especially considering Josh's initial cheating on her.
Now there's only one more obstacle in their way. Josh's midterm. Yeah, throughout the story, Beth keeps on being accosted by this creepy teacher's assistant who is trying to get Josh expelled by impersonating their professor and making up a story about Josh getting an extension on his midterm.
Now, in order to pass the midterm, Ruben helps Josh study during the ride back to Ithaca, and when the group arrives late, Beth calls in a bomb threat to make sure Josh can take the test. The TA gets dispatched with Ruben's snake to the throat, and after completing the paper, Josh gets the girl.
All is well that ends well. But the story isn't quite done yet. You see,
Barry, who has been telling this entire story to a group during an open day, also gives us some closing remarks on each of the characters' fates following the story. Josh remains together with Beth, Kyle reconciles with his father, Ruben becomes a famous cannabis cultivator, and Stifner finally makes an attempt with a girlfriend, and seems quite happy.
oh, and that creepy teacher's assistant I mentioned earlier? Yeah, he just dies. Perfect. Yeah, the story kind of ties itself up pretty quickly here, but the gang reaching Austin and Josh passing his midterm was never really what the story was about.
It's the character's journey, and the goal is not so much reaching a physical destination as it is the characters discovering something within themselves.
Josh has learned to let go and move on. Kyle now believes in himself. Ruben has discovered his own destiny, and Stifler, okay, EL. He is also matured over the course of the story.
Did I say 2? Better make it 3.
No, maybe a bit. So, how do I feel about this film? Well,
I actually went into this film with low expectations, believing it was going to be a shallow American Pie ripoff, but I ended up enjoying it a lot more upon reviewing it after so many years, and though it was certainly inspired by the success of American Pie,
I mean, seriously, yeah, that's a watered down stuff.
that really isn't a bad thing.
And my enjoyment of the story mostly comes down to its characters and the fact that the story doesn't take itself too seriously, despite having good character development. Does the film have problems? Of course. Some of the characters are less developed than others. I mean, I would have loved having seen more of Stifler and Ruben developing in their arcs. And some of the humor borders a little bit on bro humor, you know, tits and farts. But...
Sorry. Oh, fuck. Das war richtig gut. Sorry.
The logistics of the journey make no sense, and the segments with Tom Green can be a bit off at times, but I still like it.
Upon reviewing this film, I realized what it was that drew me to Road Trip as our first solo review in the first place. It encapsulates the process that Pascal and I have been going for ever since creating this channel. There was an idea. The two of us decided to put together our experience that we have gathered over the years and create something that reflects our individual passions. We make mistakes, we improve, and we evolve. And much like the characters in this film, we too will go through many changes in the course of creating the content that you will be seeing here. We will get better, and hopefully you will be happy with what you see in the same way as we will be happy with what we end up creating. I suppose what I want to say is, Road Trip was the perfect movie to start on, and I have to say I cannot wait until we will eventually get to one of our favorite films, Eurotrip, in the near future. But until then, I am just excited to be a part of this journey with you, and on behalf of myself and Pascal, this was Road Trip. Welcome to Seoul, and see you all soon.
Hey guys, thank you for checking out our first review. Subtitles? Thank you. As I was saying, thank you for checking out our first review. We had a lot of fun making it, and we hope you guys got a couple of laughs out of it as well. I want to give a big shout out to my parents for some of the pictures you saw during the review, and to Jennifer, our very first subscriber. If you are new to the channel, check out our trailer right here. Or do you want to check out some of Pascal's stuff on Soul Plays? Then go right here. Guys, we are a new channel, so every comment and like would be greatly appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe, because there's more stuff coming your way. Catch you later.